Hello and welcome on back to the Divine Combat League 3v3 Joust tournament hosted here in the Smite Game Discord. Make sure you join the Discord if you want to be in the next one because Sovaliss, they're playing for 1,000 gems per player for first place, and I think that's pretty good. We talked about it. How about you?
It absolutely is. And keep in mind, you don't have to be first to get the gems. Second place also got that nice pool of 500, and that's not for the team. That is each player. Pick yourself up something nice, get a couple skins, or hold on to it as we get more wandering markets coming out. You know, save up for something nice, right? Eventually, we're gonna get tier 5 skins in Smite 2, and well, I mean, I'm kind of excited for those. I'm not gonna lie.
Should be real nice and pretty. I know, like last game we were talking about, like spend your money, don't save it. But yeah, you can save those gems up to buy yourself a nice shiny skin. Speaking of shiny, the Chrome Gods is going to be our second team facing off against our returning champions from the last round, the Pushka Buttons. And I'm looking forward to this match. Now, the Chrome Gods have been kind of sitting on the side. They've been keeping an eye on the stream. They've been watching this one. And as us who've been watching this one as well, what do we not want Pushka Buttons to do?
Well, simply put, I think in general, Pushka buttons they need to keep their same strategy up, right? They found something good. They found something that works well with their team. They're gonna like it. Try to stay something similar. What they can't do is just throw the early game again, like they did in round one, where they were getting a little bit too aggressive and they were giving too much leeway. Keep in mind, there were points in that game one where they were behind quite a bit, and it's all great. I love a good comeback story, but as far as the actual strategy goes for winning a game, I don't recommend it.
Picks and bans are underway, ladies and gentlemen. Let's jump on into game number one of our semifinals matchup for the Divine Combat League 3v3 Joust tournament. What do we not let through? What gods stand out to you?
I think the Achilles, same thing.
Achilles, yeah,
Joust.
just kidding.
I think Achilles and Bari are probably two of the top bands. The Afro, again, Afro staple Joust god. No one wants to see her, especially in Smite 2. Healing is so strong, but Cerberus is now in the game as well. We can keep in mind there is a little bit of counterplay if Afro does get through,
The
but
unfortunate part is that Cerberus, I don't think he can be played right now.
oh, you know what? You might be right
Oh,
on
yeah,
that. He
he's
is
a
kind of
little too
new.
new. We'll put him on the back burner. So, ladies and gentlemen, give it another couple weeks, and you'll be able to play that anti-heal puppy, nonetheless. And I think you're right on the money. You have a god like that who is able to strip away the healing from their opposition, but what about a god like Odin, who has 100% anti-heal when he just cages people? I mean, hey, I think that's pretty good. Sir Cat is a pretty good. She's in Smite 2,
Not
right?
here yet.
I was just playing Smite 1 and I was playing Sir Cat. I'm sorry. When she does
uh,
come in, she has 100%. Okay, so Odin.
uh,
Odin is,
oh
I
yeah,
guess,
yeah.
our
So
big,
so
yeah.
we got Odin and yeah.
And Odin,
It's
yeah.
Odin. Odin is the anti-heal god right now. And while he is good in some team comps, he's definitely not someone that you're just fitting in everywhere. And honestly, I think I'd rather ban Afro than be like, I don't want to say forced into the Odin,
Hmm.
but
I get it.
flexibility is nice. And don't get me wrong again, Odin's great. Odin can absolutely succeed. Just because Odin didn't succeed in our last game doesn't mean he's not an awesome character. Doesn't mean he's not strong. But you have to be set up for it. You can't just slot him in. You can't just go and dive in every time. So I'm expecting Afroban still.
Expecting an
I'm
Afro ban, expecting that Bari ban, get her on out of there.
Yeah,
Is
Achilles. I'm
Achilles
thinking as
okay?
well, and then
What
I
about that
think
Hecat? Honestly, Pushka looked really good on that Hecate.
I was gonna say the question is: are we depriving Pushka of the Hekate, or are we worried about something like? Well, I say that, but the Chrome Gods, I believe is their name. They only get 2 bans, and they can choose. Do they want to ban out top picks? The gods they don't want to play against, or are we target banning Pushka because he was not okay? And I think we're getting
He
our
was not okay.
answers
I
here.
wasn't okay watching it. Honestly, it is the Achilles Bacchus getting removed. Okay, there's got to be something about this Bacchus that these teams know that I'm clearly missing, and I'm gonna have to see it once we get into it. If we ever get into seeing this Bacchus getting played, but the Bari and Agni is the pick that gets banned away by the Chrome Gods, and that leaves open the Aphrodite. So, is Chrome Gods forced into the Odin?
I think if they don't play Odin here, it is going to be a really rough time. And don't get me wrong, there is anti-heal in the game, and there are other characters with the anti-heal, Sobek, but unfortunately cannot be picked up. But it is going to be a bit of an uphill battle because obviously now Pushka buttons have great sustain. They are going to be able to just poke out, and don't get me wrong, Chrome Gods, there are ways to win. Afro is not 100% win rate character, but they can't be playing long drawn out fights. They have to get in, they have to burst people down. Don't let them sustain.
This is kind of what I was worried about, though. You get the Afro, and now she's attached to an Odin, a Chalk, something that can just be in and be oppressive. I mean, picture a Chalk with Aspect, he's got that toxic ring, and it's like, oh, well, he can't heal with his 3 anymore. Well, it doesn't matter because he's got a pocket Afro sitting on attached to him. Instead, it's going to be the Kabrakan and Thor, and this is a dirty front line. I mean, here's the thing is I'm going to attach myself to a Gabrakan and let Thor do as he pleases for whatever this last pick is going to be for Chrome Gods. And then we're Kabrak and Afro just marching our way forward.
So, one thing this might also be, and this is just me wild guessing. Full damage Thor. Afro is building the protections because protections get shared through the kiss.
You know what? You might be onto something, but
who knows? There's only going to be one way to find out, and that's after these picks and bans. Soul is coming up as the final pick on team 1. Aspect or not is the question.
No Aspect because it's one of those banned things.
Oh, it's another one of those bad things. No.
Man, you're just like, yeah. You're over here like, yeah, they should be picking like Blink, and you know what? Throw in Kali as well, even though she's not in the game. Yeah, I think.
I mean, hey, throw in Serket, right?
Yeah. Look, man,
we're all okay.
We gotta get that anti-heal.
ADC
Yeah.
Soul. ADC Soul. Honestly, probably my preference here.
I love the Soul in Joust. I think she's one of my. When I think like season 5 through season 7 Joust meta, I'm thinking, Soul, I'm thinking Medusa, I'm thinking Nox. But you know what? We're going to need to see how the Soul plays out with her tanky front line. We're going to jump into the action, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1 of the semifinals is underway. And, well, we got quite the team comps on both sides. What I do love about this Soul is her ability to shred. She gets that passive online, and she will be cooking, pun intended, with that heat, burning down her opposition, burning down the towers.
Double that if it is. Honestly, I kind of want to see them build crit. I love soul crit. It's fun. But what are they doing? They're invading. They want the blue buff.
I think this is really interesting. So if you do this quick enough, you can trade out 3 buffs for 1. Okay? But it seems like they're happy to take the 1. Eyeballing, though, coming across is the remaining members. I feel like that's an instance where you have to have somebody with maybe like, I did this and had this done to me as well in a previous Joust tournament, where the enemy team had a Morrigan, unfortunately not playable in this event, who built Bumbas and went full tank, but that Bumbas was enough for her to invade blue while 2 of her teammates went over and did purple, and then they fell back and 3-manned their blue buff, and they walked into lane, ticking over to level 4, and we weren't able to do anything, just like this fight going on. Not able to do anything is going to be Legacy Unknown getting sent onto the gray screen, and that's going to be first blood in the pocket of the Chrome Gods going to the Crowan Lord himself on Mordred.
They may not have gotten red and purple buff, but that's not gonna matter if the Thor is down already. Looks like, did Thor hold both buffs, or am I just? I think the Thor had
Just
am I
watching all
just
the
not
other
seeing
action.
right? Yeah, he did. He did have both buffs on him.
It's unfortunate. That's unlucky,
That,
you know. Or,
that
as
is
Zuko puts it,
very.
that's rough, buddy.
That is huge because not only is it the first blood, but now you have no buffs. The red buff obviously being one of the stronger jungle buffs in the game, and it's kind of, the red buff is what you're losing, right? If you go for the invade strat, you're saying I'm okay giving up the damage of the red buff. They can have it,
Mhm.
and that's kind of your saving grace if you do get invaded, and well, now they just don't have it. It's gone.
Don't have the purple buff
It's
either, and you lost both blue buffs as well. You lost first blood. This Mordrin ticked over to 5. I'm ready to see him actually just like running gun. I mean, I love going through the long wall on the left side right there because you can just go through the entire length of it at the last tick and come out the other side, make connect with somebody and take them up into the air if they're hugging the wall ever. So
Yep.
I
And
think he's a
well,
very fun god.
oh, Mordred is super fun. I mean, his cooldown. What are cooldowns? He doesn't know.
I would say he's like
Like,
the most smite 2 god of the gods right now, and I think he was a very good one to release off of the introduction into this game. Having him just being able to use other things than his main kit, such as using his spacebar to proc that passive, I think that was really big, but it really messes me up as somebody who loves to jump spam. I gotta say, I press that spacebar constantly, and I waste my passive constantly.
oh, I feel that pain. I gotta admit, I absolutely feel that pain. And now, oh, Thor's beads finally coming back online. He did burn them, unfortunately, to Vayne in his first death. Although, looks like both teams playing a little bit passively. Pushka buttons, obviously, and not falling for that Hercules. They know what happens when you step up to tower against that god, having been there themselves.
Good
And
damage
Chrome.
onto the souls. Gonna be forcing her off. They get the red buff and are gonna be happy to walk away. Might be able to secure their blue buff this time around, but I say might, but it looks like it is a success. So you go well, I'm gonna say 2 for 1 buff right now because our little Chrome gods are walking over to the purple buff. They'll be able to secure that. So 2 for 2 overall. Not bad.
Two for two, keeping things even. Now, Chrome Gods did pick up double Gauntlet of Thieves.
Yeah,
And
that's pretty stable, eh?
it is. It absolutely is. I mean, oh, this Cabrakan taking so much damage. Ult comes out, but wasn't needed. Soul is able to pick up the kill. They want more, but I don't think there's anything more to grab. I mean, solid pick from the Hercules there, pushing Cabrakan into the back line. Soul obviously being able to pump out that damage. Absolute menace in the early.
I talked earlier about that shred of that pick. When I said that she's one of the staple picks for me when it comes to the OG Joust type, and this is when double tank started to become really a defining feature. I feel. I mean, sure we had a lot of just Emps armor existed back in that day in Joust, and it was very scary to allow people to just walk under tower. Fingers crossed it. I say doesn't, but also does come back in the game. I really enjoy that item. But you have this god who can just build up her passive, dealing increased damage. She has an attack speed stim and heal stim on her 1. She gets complete immunity moving into her 3, which gives her some movement speed as well. She's got great ability damage as well. I feel like you can build her full ability base and still deal crazy stupid auto damage on top of it. Speaking of auto damage, there it is.
Yeah, the heals from the Afro just not enough souls damage. I mean, especially in that early game. Mid game falls off slightly, but then late game just ramps back up. Is absolutely chewing through both Thor and Cabrakan. I mean, the Afro hasn't been pushed. They're not the one dying. It's the tanks.
Or up in the air, comes slamming on down onto the Mordred, gets the follow-up stun, and A lot of damage rips on through, but take a look at the shell of the boulder. Rips on through the double knock up from the Hercules. Traps him on in. Going up into the air from the Mordred. Slamming him on down. But it's going to be God's Gunman who ends up knocking down the first pick. The Cabrakan getting on out of here. This is what I'm looking for in these team comps. You have a double tank team comp, but with this soul, it allows these kind of plays to be made. You see what happened 6 minutes into the game, not even 5.5 minutes into the game, and Chrome Gods are walking over to pull this Lost Knight. That's what we need to see. Force them to play on your terms. 1, 2, 3, and a little bit late, deicide right into the Lost Knight for Chrome Gods.
Pushka do buying enough time, enough for Cabrakan, able to make it back to Lost Knight. Soul tipped out for the red buff, so they're just going to drop it. Overall, though, I mean, you got 3 kills off of pulling that Lost Knight. You cannot complain. You might not have the objective, but it certainly puts you in a stronger position. Right now, Pushka Buttons struggling to find anything they can grab a hold onto as Chrome Gods are now starting to snowball through this match.
Yeah,
It's going to be tough.
My soul's level 9. She's in a very great position, but I really love this return aggression.
Look at this.
This is spicy, okay, right now. Picking it on up. Half HP on the Lost Knight. Hercules spots it. He doesn't have the ultimate available to him. They don't know that. Gets the ultimate back up. 1,500. 1,000 damage. The double knockup is there. The solar flare rips on through. It's 100 damage, but Legacy Unknown gets it. The Thor picks up the Lost Knight, and that's going to be the first one on the board. 7 minutes into the game. Action still going on through the Mordred, attempting to connect onto the Thor, rolling up in the air, looking for a target. Lands on back in, though.
That's a risky one. That's a risky one. You take it. You got your Lost Knight. This fight does not look good. You have no health. I mean, you might live, but I don't think. Just get out. Abyssal's gone. Abyssal's gone. You try to peel for him a little bit. Oh, they turn.
Well, you see, when the Thor can just kind of sit out from the fight for a second and get his cooldowns back and, you know, return, heal up a little bit, I think he's in a pretty good position. Now chasing down the soul, they don't have that tower available to him. And here's the difficult part, too, is, you know, you're trying to go on this Cabrakan who's got a pocket afro. Then you're like, oh, maybe we'll go on the afro. And again, afro. Come on, guys. The healing, you know. Now we see God's Gunman having that Ankh in pocket. It's going to be very beneficial, but what damage has been done already? I felt like the lead that was there for the Chrome Gods has now gone down to nothing. We'll see if they end up turning this one around, though, as their tower goes on down, but they're able to pull in the Cabrakan. And again, that Aphrodite connects, survives the wall. The Mordred on through, though, ends up finishing it on off.
Great double wall, great peel, a Mordred ult.
Mordred ult, yeah, very good, very well put.
Unfortunate. They put in the work. They almost got him out. They did pick up the tower. But is it going to be a swap? Great triple stun from the Thor. Ult goes out on the Hercules. Phantom Shell is popped. They're doing everything, trying to clear out the minions, but Soul free casting. The knockup stops Thor from returning to the hammer. Able to pick up the kill.
While they ended up dying, and the tower ended up dropping, and now the Cabrakan's gonna fall as well. I have to say, as somebody who originally, when Smite 1 came out, I started playing Thor at the start of the game and mained Thor all the way for like a long period of time, months at a time, and only played Thor and one-trick Thor. Seeing a triple stun like that is chef's kiss.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it feels good. It looks good to see all 3 lined up on the wall. Unfortunately, not enough to save the tower, but he's going back in. Another great wall coming out from Legacy. Unfortunately, Soul's just safe.
Just safe, able to get herself on out of there. So we went tower for tower in the long run. Thor hammering himself on in, gets a good double stun, goes up into the air, waiting in the Anvil of Dawn, the dash away from the Mordred. He doesn't have his dash available to him, but does not seem like they want to continue the engage, and I think this is the smart call right now. We've seen time and time again today where teams are getting over aggressive, continuing this fight for, for lack of better words, no real good reason. That was a good call right there. You get some farm back up, spend your gold.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you take what you can get. Not every fight needs to end in a kill. Push them out, force them out. farm the map. I mean, red buff is up now, so is Lost Knight. Both teams looking at the two different sides. It's going to be tricky. I mean, despite only having one kill on the board from Pushka Buttons, they're not far behind, and they are anything but out of this match. The team fights might not be going well, but all they need is that one pick. Legacy has been absolutely cracked so far with every single wall, and honestly, as this game goes on, it's gonna hurt more. One of those walls is gonna end up being the death of Soul very soon. Pushka able to live this time though. Great. Oof.
See if they end up getting on out. There's the Mordred, rips on through the wall, forces the beads off of Pushka. No beads, no ultimate, getting away, but not for long. Down goes Pushka, and now Legacy Unknown hammers himself on out of there. The Hercules wants to finish it on up. Good stun, good peel though from his Kabrakin, who unfortunately, salute my friend. I thought he was going to trade his life for that, but instead he ends up turning it around on the Hercules. Only now, stop moving, stop. Okay, watching the tick of the Mordred end up going down. It wasn't enough to bring down the Kabrakin, makes his way on out, but take a look at that. The Soul, that damage, that burst, down goes your Phoenix.
I mean, a Soul. The killer of
Soul,
powers
yeah.
in Smite 1 and Smite 2, it doesn't matter. There
Quote
is
of the
no
day,
objective.
I mean it's Soul.
Yeah, it's Soul. That's what it comes down to. There is no objective that is safe from Soul's fury. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. And well, her early game tower damage has been tuned down a little bit in Smite 2 compared to what it is in Smite 1. I mean, you saw what happened there. And I see what's happening here. They know where the Chrome Guards want to be.
Forces the beads with the stun right there. Soul doing your best to get on out of there, get some to separate, get some distance, and that's what you want. Legacy Unknown, though, not too healthy. Eats a boulder, gets the knockup. Caught now between a rock and a hard place, but it's going to be K-Cut who ends up going on down. Legacy Unknown gets the pick, gets out of there. The life is getting brought right into this Kabrakin. You gotta find a way to stop this Aphrodite from doing what she wants. Honestly, it's really just Pushka keeping this Kabrakin alive. Legacy Unknown swoops in from the side and gets the cleanup. It's time and time again that it's been going on right now, and they're getting away with murder.
Getting away though, maybe this Mordred good all able to just squeak out of there. Are they gonna look for the Lost Knight? Soul is back up, maybe just a blue buff. Mordred stepping back in, very risky play. Blue buff does go in favor of Pushka Buttons. That was a great fight. I mean, you can't let a Pushka free cast. I mean, that's been both these round 1 and round 2. I think especially now that on the Afro, because it's not just the damage they're putting out, but Abyssal's alive because of Pushka.
Absolutely. That was 1,000%. Like, you're not able to kill this Kabrakin. It was impossible to kill that Kabrakin attached to an Aphrodite. Like, Pushka was completely just unfazed, not even looked at, chilling behind the challenge. Okay, I'll heal you. Okay, I'll use my ult on you to prevent you from that. And it was just, you couldn't stop it. We'll see if they end up rotating on in here, stopping this Lost Knight push, though, from the Chrome Gods. It's getting low down to 2,400. Abilities used by the Soul, does have the ultimate available, drops it down 140, 1 HP, and it's gonna be your Chaos team. The Chrome Gods steal that one away. The Mordred ult rips on through. K-Cut is low and ends up dropping one, but trading out his own life as well. Now the Aphrodite, not attached to anyone, uses her ultimate on herself, and a good double kill right now for Crone Lord. A deicide for the Chrome Gods.
A small little area in the back that's not where you want to be fighting. Has AoE damage. I mean, they might not necessarily be AoE gods, but double stuns, double knock-ups, everything is going to just be so rough.
The Phoenix was down, so the Lost Knight went to the Titan.
Oh my god.
I mean, they're able to get it, but still, it's these little things I find fun in the game.
Oh my god, good call. Wasn't even tracking that. Oh man, that was a good engage coming from Pushka Buttons. Unfortunately, they were not quite able to get to where they wanted. And There's something I do want to point out that Chrome Gods, so far their anti-heal has been very limited to only Onks.
They have a Pestilence online now as well, though.
That is a
On Chrome
talisman.
Lord.
Oh, that's not that's Yorochi's neck.
I'm
There
losing my
is
mind right now.
Yeah, production. You want to hover over the item right there beside the Ankh, the old pestilence icon?
Oh man, that might
Because
be what messes me up.
it is
Other side,
no,
other side.
no, other side on the Mordred.
Mordred. Down.
Uh, yeah.
Left.
Yeah. Yogi's necklace. It is
Okay.
using the old pestilence.
That
That is the new
gets
stone of
me.
Gaia.
That gets me. The Kabrakan is low, and down he goes to the boulder. Pushka, though, getting a good trade out onto K-Cut. A 1-for-1 overall, and as much as Pushka Buttons is doing the best to run away, Chrome Gods do not want to let it happen. The ultimate is available on the Mordred, but he's not going to use it, the hammer, to get on out. So something that I want to point out that stands out to me, and it was a follow-up to what you mentioned over at that Lost Night fight, because I still think it serves a lot of relevance, okay? That being trapped in a corner, trapped in that corner, okay? That is exactly what Chrome Gods want from you. I want my Stellar Burst to hit everybody who's stuck over here. I want a nice driving strike from Hercules to sit there and just push everybody against a wall, knock a boulder to bounce around 1,000 times, and Mordred to come through and just ult 3 people up into the air and slam them on down. That's great. Where did we see Pushka Buttons just have a massive success? The fight before that, where they were able to spread things out. The Kabrakan is forward, the Aphrodite's back behind this wall, the Thor's moving around, doing what he wants. It was really a matter of play your game and don't fall into the trap that what the enemy team is setting for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Aphrodite, great god, great healer, can only heal 2 people, themselves and one other. Right? If they don't have enough options to deal with every single threat if you're trapped in a corridor like that. That Stellar Burst hits 3 people, only 2 of them are able to survive it. You know, that the little baseball pitch, if it bounces and hits all 3 people, only 2 of them are going to survive it. And even then, the Aphrodite is a sustained heal, not a burst heal. So you need time to let it tick.
Oh, let it tick indeed. The Soul rips on through. Thor chilling up in the air. Kabrakan low. Thor lands on down onto the back line, onto the Soul, and this is exactly what you want. Assassin versus Carry. Who's going to win that? Well, I mean, it's Thor. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly how that it was expected to go. Now has a pocket Aphrodite, and we've seen this situation with a Kabrakan. Driving strike rips on through, unable to connect, though, and it allows the Thor to get out to safety. You get the pick that you want. All 3 members now of Pushka Buttons are alive, and see a 9300 HP target over on the left side of the map that I know I'd be eyeballing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Kirkcut's still 20 seconds in, but if they want it, they have to go quick. They don't have burst. Well, they don't have the objective damage that a soul would do. They can pick this up, teleport over, and they're going for it. 8 seconds, though, on Q-Cut now. If they're wise, if they can figure it out, Mordred and Hercules will be able to buy enough time. But they're none the wiser. They have no vision. They don't realize they saw them in mid and go to the red buff. The sneaky teleport able to get them over to Lost Night. And Chrome Gods are none the wiser.
That was a massive call right there from Pushka Buttons. That was exactly what they needed. Now they have the advantage. The gold is dead even, but the pressure is in favor of Pushka Buttons. And I think that's a huge miss from Chrome Gods to not even just think about looking in that direction. I mean, you have your double tank to be able to just go and I don't know, stall out a little bit, maybe get a little poke, just do something to dissuade. I mean, a Mordred ult ripping through is enough to make me want to just step away for even just a moment and like just reset. I didn't think they were healthy enough because like you said, they didn't have the shred. Pushka Buttons did not have the shred to be able to burn down that objective. They don't have that soul, but they were allowed to have the time on it. So now Pushka Buttons with his Lost Night, Phoenix disabled for Chrome Gods. I'm feeling a good push coming along.
They have the initiative. This is their time. This is their make or break moment in the game. Everything is in their favor to get a successful siege off. If it falls through, it's going to be an uphill battle for the rest of it from Pushka Buttons. This is the first time they have had the initiative all match. they need to put it to good use, and good use, they are getting it. Unfortunately, that Thor wall prevents his team from helping him out.
Aphrodite connected onto the Kraken. The Hercules uses the driving strike to push away the cab, but unfortunately, going down is your HP. Thor lurking around up top, knows exactly who his target is. Unable to connect onto the soul, instead gets sent into the air by the Mordred. Diving into the back. Does he get out? The Hercules lives. The soul lives. The Phoenix is still alive. The Mordred is still alive. Everyone lives right now. And finally, we see a little bit of damage getting put into that bird. Slowly getting whittled down. Soul back now full HP. The Hercules back now full HP. Driving strike rips on through, connects onto the Thor, is able to get the hammer out, and down goes the soul. Stun rips on through, but did you stay a little bit too long, Legacy Unknown? Maybe, but maybe not at the same time. Driving strike though rips on through. The Aphrodite's connected onto the cab. She doesn't even need to heal this Thor. He has his aspect keeping him alive. He's surviving, but who isn't? Hercules isn't. Crone Lord, will you live? Will you not? Will your Titan live? Will it not?
Maybe the Afro needs to swap targets here. You know, it's great keeping Cab alive, but three people, right? You got a second, you got a third teammate. Come on, Pushka, don't leave Legacy out to die. Oh my God, where's his health bar? Where's the Titan's health bar? And that's good.
Where's the Titans health bar? Indeed, down it goes. You know, I love this right now. Pushka Buttons were able to turn this one around for what felt like a difficult position and end up taking a game number one. What a game right there. Okay, they were able to find opportunities. A little bit of a misstep over by the fire pit that we were talking about, over by the back end of that last night, but they collected themselves. They brought it on back. That is what you want to see. And I don't think the Chrome Gods are out of this at all. They had the early pressure. They had them on the back foot. And it just felt like a lost fight here, a lost fight there. And, you know, that's just the way that Joust works. I think these are two great competitive teams.
Is that Zero I see on the Mordred? Did he not die?
He did not.
Oh, that's crazy. Man, Mordred, slippery character. And I have to agree with you. Incredibly competitive game. Great comeback from Pushka Buttons. They bided their time. They waited for the right moment. They got their items online. And that's all it was. That is all she wrote. K-Cut was not able to be safe from Legacy Unknown at any point. Abyssal being able to lock down Mordred and Hercules, keep them away. There was no way for them to be able to go peel because they had their own fight in front of them. Obviously, the sustain from the Afro, absolutely crazy. I think Runa's Ankh being the only anti-heal, it's not enough. It's not.
What?
You need at least a Divine Rune or Titans to go alongside it.
Well, while the Kraken was healing up, you all have a moment to heal up from that one as well. We're going to be going to a quick intermission before we jump on into game number 2. Pushka Buttons leading the series 1-0 against Chrome Gods. We'll be right back with more Divine Combat League's 3v3 Joust tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on back to the Divine Combat League's 3v3 Joust tournament. We have game number 2 of Pushka Buttons versus Chrome Gods. And let me tell you, the back and forth action is not over yet. But there's one thing on the front of my mind. And if you've been here, you better have been here, should be on the front of yours. Yeah, let's get Aphrodite out of here. What do you think, Sov?
I agree. I think if you are Chrome Guards, the Afro is your first ban. I mean, I get what they went for. They knew Pushka played Agni. They saw him play it in the first round. They saw it do incredibly well. They weighed the risk. They said, fine, the Agni, we don't want to see him. But Pushka's true ace was the Aphrodite. And you know what? Honestly, I think with where Afro is right now, he just can't see her in Joust. It's too strong.
Too strong indeed. We'll see if she gets banned away. It's time for picks and bans for game number 2. Will Pushka Buttons secure this one? Secure their ticket in the grand finals? Let us find on out. We got to get the Aphrodite out of there. Other things we were talking about back in the previous, I mean, the Achilles has been a big thing, but I gotta I am still throwing around the question. I'd love to sit here and just talk to some of these players at the end of this and say, what's the deal with this Bacchus pick? I'm gonna like hold my breath real quick to see if it gets banned away again, but there's the Aphrodite. Get her out of here. We are tired of seeing that one and Achilles to follow.
Yep. I mean, don't get me wrong. Bacchus, incredibly strong. You know, like amazing CC, both a very large knockup and stun to boot, intoxicate, awesome damage, a bit of self-sustain.
He's open.
There's nothing bad about Bacchus, right? It looks great too, but where was I going with this? But
You
you know,
got
it's
petrified.
you gotta weigh. I got petrified by this Medusa pick. But you have to weigh. You know, Bacchus brings a lot to the table, but so do these other gods, right?
Yeah,
You know,
see, that's the thing that I'm looking at. I'm like, I feel like there's a lot on the table right now for Smite 2 where it's like, okay, well, I mean, like, yeah, the Bacchus does his thing, but like, what about this character? What about that character? What about Medusa? What about Cabra Hercules? I mean, I feel like there's still a metric butt ton of picks that I could be listing off right now. I mean, like, we've seen Hecate today. We saw the Soul, I think, was really phenomenally done. I mean, we had a Mordred in the last game who didn't die a single time. Odin, you know, with the cage and the anti-heal, and I still very confident he's one of the best picks in the game right now. I feel like there's so much on the table, but wow, is this like a blast from the past draft right here? Medusa, Keb, and Shock.
yeah. I mean, I actually love seeing the Geb here, and I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen him yet. Yes, he's a bit more of a defensive guardian, but
Oh,
I think he's going to add so much value to the Chrome Gods. Pushka back on the Agni. You know, Kabrek and Hercules Agni. I think we've seen this
that
one
was
before.
yeah, I think we've seen this one from Pushka Buttons before. And I mean, if we saw the game 1 to game 2 from the last series transition from this team, I feel like they are confident in going and picking this draft up again. That they're like, okay, we know what we did wrong. I don't even think they did a whole lot wrong. I mean, they won the game. They were able to play their team comp the way. I feel like they're like, okay, we can clean up the corners in the rough patches and make this work for us. And I mean, you got a very, very rough team to be able to play it into. You got a great peel from the Geb, you got great zoning from the Chalk, you got a Petrify ripping on through, and let's roll on into it though to see what's going to be happening. Geb is here, Chalk is here, Medusa is here. These are just some classic picks, ladies and gentlemen. It's game number 2, Pushka Buttons and Chrome Gods. Chalk aspect.
Yeah,
Aspect,
right
baby.
away.
Yeah, and that was the first I looked. I wanted to see it.
Right away, we've got Chalk aspect with that Acid Rain. Foregoing the healing. Again, pros and cons of both. Extra damage if he can get on the Agni or even just sitting on the Kabrakan, right? Extra damage is going to put in work. But Agni loves to poke. He might be missing that sustain.
I love the Chalk aspect. I gotta be honest. You know, we're talking about it. It's like, well, what do we give Chalk here to give him like, you know, an aspect? How do we do something for Chalk? And just someone made a suggestion. They're like, what if his rain does damage instead of healing? And everybody's just like, huh. He just rocked with it and it worked, just like the stealing of the red buff just worked. Geb, guys, Geb's in chat, the Sunder, the steal, and thank you very much.
I mean, just perfect timing. Sunder, obviously, great item. Great relic. I miss the old Hand of the Gods, I'm not gonna lie.
Hog, baby. I miss level 1 Gold Fury, Hog.
Oh, that takes me back, man. That takes me back. The old Hog days. The consumable Hog.
Oh.
Anyways, now we've
Buff
got
for buff.
Sundering.
Yeah.
Buff or buff. You know what? Honestly, I don't mind Sundering Arc. I'll admit, it's always very satisfying to watch the Sundering Arc take damage, just finish off the last little bit of HP as they try to run under tower.
I love too, like going and playing these buff steals, and you have somebody who's melee who's just sitting up close and personal with a buff. I saw this actually in a set just yesterday for a different league where this person in playing Ama jungle is trying to like take this buff and is of course Ama auto attacking this buff, and their opposition just sunders the buff, gets the buff, Sunder hits them, and just they get melted on down too. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's probably not a good thing. I love the multi-use case.
I gotta agree with you there. I don't know. I much enjoy Sundering Arc. If I'm ever playing solo, if I'm ever playing support, I look at them. I'm like, can I get this? I can do this, right? Like
There
I'm
should
not.
be 3 Sunders in every team comp, I think.
I agree, bro. You know what? You know what I gotta do one day.
Hmm.
Try to get a 5-man stack. We all build Sunder and we just rush someone level 1.
Just see
Five
what he does.
Sunders. Just to see, can we kill someone? 5 Sunders level 1.
I don't
You
think
know what?
it'll kill. Maybe old Sunder, you know, we'll see. Pluck pulls on in, but the Medusa Petrify rips on through, and she is going to be the first to fall. Agni Bombs ripping on through over the top. Legacy Unknown getting out 1, getting out none. Legacy Unknown ends up falling to Crone Lord. A nice 1-for-1 at the end of the day. Good little trade, but I mean, first
it's not
blood, though,
done.
it's not over yet.
Not done. Ult coming out. Petrification beads from Pushka. Damage being put back in. Abyssal a little bit low. Not gonna keep front lining. Q cut is back. And loving those ADCs. You know what? He's building anti-heal right off the start.
He's not having it.
I love to see it. They learned we're not allowing healing to go rampant this game. Hercules is going to be killable. Pushka now 1 kill on the board already. He is sitting pretty. I believe that was the first blood as well. A little bit of extra gold in his pocket. I mean, it's scary. That's all it is. We saw what Agni does earlier this tournament so far. And if it gets to that point, if this Agni reaches full build, there's not going to be a lot that Chrome Gods can do against it.
I just feel like Pushka's sitting there, like, you know, in his head, he's like, I'm going to show you exactly why you banned this god in game 1. I'm going to show you right now that you should have banned it again here in game 2. I want to see that build up. I want to see the Pushka climb, the Pushka annihilation, and just see what he ends up pulling on out. But, I mean, it might be a ways away. It's 4 minutes in, 1-1 in the kill column, and gold is at a dead even split. I mean, you know, the first blood happened. Sure, it's a nice little gold bounty, but it seems like these teams are going 50-50 on buffs constantly and just kind of good neutral lane pressure.
I mean, it's always nice when you got a nice little team. I mean, I'm not sure if I'd call this necessarily respect, but you know, you farm over there, we farm over there. You know, we'll come back in 20 minutes, right? You know, the good old solo lane of yeah, no, we just here, we're farming. We'll fight later, you know, but for now, we're just chilling, man.
Well, you have double stacking items going on right now for the Chrome Gods. You got the Thieves for the Geb and the Book of Thoth for the Chalk, wanting to get that extra damage off on the Ray. Does get pushed away because extra damage means you're extra squishy. Bombs raining in over the top, uses that ultimate, ripping on through. It's going to be a nice silence onto the Kabrakan, who's getting melted on down by the Medusa autos, dashes on in onto the Hercules, but his dash gets him on out. Beads expended by the Medusa to try to chase down, but it's all for naught. Everybody walks away. Scot-free, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you had great picks going against the Shock, and the Shock is going to be a bit squishier. I mean, Book of Thoth, first item, he's going to be a prime target to get picked off if he engages recklessly. But the trade-off, especially with the aspect on, is he's going to try to run down this Agni the entire game. I mean, if he ever gets his hands on that Agni, I think it's just game over for Pushka at that point. There's not going to be much he can do.
I'm waiting to see, like, the Chalk gets on the Agni. The Kabrakan goes to, like, wall off the Chalk, traps the Agni's dash, which makes him eat the Chockle. It's like, this is everything I'm waiting to see. I have faith in these players so far with what I've seen, especially over on the side of Pushka Buttons. They've been placing their abilities appropriately. Beads not available for them to use a good pluck.
When it comes to the walls and walling off your teammates, what I always say is,
Nobody does it better than
If
genetics.
genetics can do it.
I'm glad we're on the
uh,
same page with that one.
See, and that's exactly why my buddies always say my Ymir is on the same level as genetics. Um, I
I'll give
choose to
credit
take
where
that as a
credit is
compliment.
due. Fair. I'll give credit where credit is due. I think he has a nasty Kepri. I've seen his Kepri over the years, and I really love when he's playing those backline peel
Oh,
supports.
to be fair, I think genetics has a cracked Ymir. Like the dude is, I don't know. I'm a PBM supporter myself, but
Okay, okay.
genetics close second, right? I love me some genetics. Um, but that moment will always live in infamy.
Look on through the damage, rips on in over the top. The follow up, I can't even call this peel right now. This is just abuse coming in from the Geb and Chalk combination. Medusa is here, and that flame wave ended up connecting onto her, and very much like, oh god, we gotta shell her, keep her alive right now. I don't think they were. I don't even think Pushka was expecting the Medusa to turn the corner into that fire wave.
No, don't think that was meant for her. Panic Shell is a little bit panicky. There were no more abilities. Medusa still in lane, having to get out, maybe rethinking that one more wave syndrome. Oh, it's okay. I've got 100 health left, but I gotta get my farm. I'm 50 gold off my item.
Man,
Then I can back.
I watched a player try to sit there and do that again yesterday in a league, and walks back in and dies to the minion wave, and I'm just sitting there like just face in hand, like, oh man. I'm like, I feel like Captain Picard, like, why, why'd you do this?
Right? Hey, guys, keep in mind we got those new minions that are spawning in Conquest with the little glowy shields. They're nothing to scoff at. Those are tanky, right? They can take a minute to clear and they can kill you. Keep in mind,
Will.
they can and will kill you. That is for sure. Especially if you try to proxy with the new damage buff and mitigations they give to waves being proxied. But I don't know. Don't be greedy, guys. Seriously, just back. Take a second.
If
No
you're
one's gonna
against me, you can be
complain.
greedy.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
if you guys see me in your casual game, ranked game, you're more than welcome to be greedy. I promise. I'll let you get away with it.
I
One
will.
time.
I promise I probably won't. But if I don't notice you doing it, then you might be able to get away with it. And, well, we're talking about the damage of minions. We're talking about dying, but let me talk about this damage on this Chalk and how he very much could die. We were talking about the Book of Thoth, decided to continue that trend. Goes into a trans, we've had nothing but double tank so far. It's like, yes, he has the Warrior's Blessing, but, this is a very damagey boy.
Yeah, I mean, there's no rules against saying that they can't have double damage on their side. It's just something that hasn't been done for a while, and unfortunately, it is going to cost him his life. Legacy falling shortly after, 1-for-1 trade. Chalk for Hercules. Agni and Kobrakin both a little low. Probably not looking to take this fight. Red buff is being pulled. Looks like they are going to get it uncontested going to the Chrome Gods. Overall, I'm Chrome Gods. I'm happy. 1-for-1 trade. We get to secure the buff, get a bit more wave, tower damage in. Nothing too bad. Nothing spectacular. A bit of a slower paced game, but okay, it's just purple.
Yeah. So I do feel like, that wasn't like a worst case scenario. I do also feel like, though, you need to be a little bit careful letting this Chalk sacrifice himself. I mean, we had a similar instance with Odin, in a previous set where it felt like he was jumping in, getting aggressive, fell behind. Okay, well, now he was building tank. This guy's building damage. You're going to be a lot more easier to kill. And I feel like when you're building this damage style on someone who is a warrior, someone who's a brawler, in a very double tank heavy meta that we're seeing here, it puts this idea in my head that you're trying to play around this in some way. You're trying to build off it. And if that's the case, we need to make sure this is the guy who's around when kills are happening. We need to make sure this is the guy who's around when farm is getting dropped.
Yeah, Absolutely agree with you. I mean, now you look, I think that's going to be. Is that going to be a Reaper from the Chalk? It is a Reaper from the Chalk. Really doubling down on that full damage. And now it's even more important to be there for the skills and assists. He wants to stack that up, I guess. Technically triple stacking, if you consider Reaper a stacking item in the same way that Rage was. You need to get the kills and assists in order to stack up its passive, so you get that extra strength, you get that extra lifesteal when you hit a god, and you get that engage going. But kind of needs to be alive.
I know you said
He needs to be
how
there.
Rage was, but I feel like it's a how Rage is.
But fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh, he got on the other
I-
side of the wall. The ball, I'm sorry, but the bracket hole did not connect onto the Medusa. I hate to cut you off, but man, going in by himself, Abyssal being an Abyssal terror right now onto K-Cut, forcing the Medusa to dash on away. The Hercules lurking around on the side, a couple low HP bars for your KS side. Pushka Buttons raining in some fire over the top, but they're going to be an ultimate disengage after that fight.
Nice and simple. Nothing much coming out of it. A little bit more, though. The Chalk saved by the Geb shield. Just barely enough to hold on to life. And you know what? In the picks and bans, they knew this is what they wanted. They were going full damage Chalk, which is why they grabbed up the Geb to help him stay alive. Little bit of extra health. I mean, the Geb shield is just great. Free HP, free beads. What's not to love?
I mean, what if you had a Kepri res? I don't know, I'm just spitballing here.
You know what? You've got a point.
I'm just spitballing, yeah.
Kepri is someone we have not yet seen tonight for this tournament, and actually kind of surprising. Now that you say that, being able to just bring back one of your teammates from the brink of death, it might not be Afro heals, but it's a good second.
I love like Thor Kepri combinations, or yeah, I mean like Smite 1 Ravana Kepri. You got the Raven just getting in there, getting aggressive. Osiris too, getting in there, getting aggressive, and all of a sudden, you know, it's just Kepri's like, okay, well, come on back. You know, you did what you needed to do. You got your damage off. Some teleporter shenanigans going on over here, and Kabrakan Cage traps in the Crone Lord. He should make it onto the safety of his tower, no problem. Does expend the ultimate, though, to offer a little bit of peel. Damage into the members of Pushka Buttons, and it looks like a good dash in from the Medusa is going to catch onto Legacy Unknown, and a finish off from God's Gunman. The Geb going in the rollout. Good stun, though, for the peel, and they're going to walk away. One pick in the pocket of Chrome Gods.
Well, this Hercules is having a bit of a rough time. Not quite able to get the picks on who he's wanting. Yes, they're able to find Chrome Lord out. They're able to get the damage on the Chalk. Unfortunately, it is not quite enough. Pushka not far enough online yet. Not far enough into his build to fully burst him down. I mean, despite the fact Chalk is not building particularly defensive, he's still got the base stats of a warrior from Smite 1. For those of you who are unaware, in Smite 2, the god classes have been completely removed, and in Smite 1, Chalk was considered a warrior, meaning he had, you know, higher base stats of protection and health. And he still got them, and they are putting in work. Able to keep him alive with the Geb shield through that Kabrakan ult. Pushka just unable to find the vantage point that he had the first time around. Gone for a little bit less pen, but I think the Divine Rune's a good pickup.
I mean,
Especially against the Reaper.
anti-heal. Oh,
Exactly.
yeah. Get that anti-heal in pocket. It's going to be really nice. And I do think Divine Rune a little bit more of a staple pickup too as well. We see it on a lot of mage builds. If you've been watching any tournaments across the board throughout the Smite competitive scene, Smite 2 competitive scene, I should say. I mean, even in Smite 1 as well, Divine Rune is kind of a big staple item for these mage players. So I'm not too surprised seeing this one get picked up as well. 16 minutes here, 4-2. And it's dead even. I want to say, like, this is the closest it's been. I mean, yeah, you see 1,000 gold in favor of our Chrome Gods, but take a look at this. There's like no tower damage on either side. And I admittedly so, like, look at what you're trying to siege into. Do we siege into a Geb and Chalk, or do we siege into a Kabrak and Hercules Agni? We saw how that one went earlier, but I tell you what, you don't got to worry about sieging into anyone when they walk out a tower. Good cage from Abyssal. Artorias is going to be able to lock down the Medusa. Pluck up, push back in, and down he goes. Pushka getting a second one over here for Pushka Buttons, and now the lone Geb on the defense, no ultimate available. Get some damage over into the cab. Good stun, and he's going to be able to walk away.
He does not look like he is walking away, my friend. He is staying.
Walk away, walk back in, same
going
thing, yeah.
down with the ship. Not having to die there. Tower is going to fall. First tower. Golden XP lead swapping. They want more. They want blood. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and K-Cut is back up. Do they make it in time? No ultimate, though. We're going to have to defend it with nothing but their autos and a little bit of luck. Phoenix is going down. This game went from dead even to Pushka Buttons having the advantage once again. Kabrakimet, just calm down. You got Phoenix.
I'll be honest.
Happy.
I'll be honest. If everyone's on the same page right there, that's a dead Medusa, death timers are staggered, and you might be looking at an endgame scenario. I do very much respect the decision of Pushka and Legacy to be like, hey, like you said, we got the Phoenix and a tower. Let's just walk away with this one because that was a massive, massive win. Hey, it's a... Both scenarios, I think, are okay in that scenario. And I'm happy they chose the walk away one because that means more action for y'all at home to get to see how this one is playing on out. And that just right there goes to show you, you know, in these games where it is a lot of back and forth, it is dead even. Take a look at that. Bam! Instantly, one fight goes one person's way just a little bit too much. The death timers are a little bit too long. Down goes your tower. Down goes your Phoenix. Now the waves are pushing into you. One more fight. That's going to be end game scenario for Chrome Gods, and they get knocked on out, and Pushka Buttons find their way in the grand finals. You gotta play this one now extra careful, and you can tell the pressure is on for Chrome Gods.
Absolutely, and I'm not gonna really talk about this. I just want to point it out. Geb is almost all their kills.
I mean, he's a Geb.
Geb is the 3 kills, and Lost Knight is being pulled. But Chrome Gods are here. They are wise. Kabrakaut going out. Medusa is getting caught out by the boulder. Oh god, the humanity.
Down goes the Medusa, down goes Chalk. And ladies and gentlemen, remember what we just were talking about. If you got one more bad fight, not able to stop the back unlucky, it could spell danger though for this game. God's Gunman does have the ultimate available to him. Will be able to hold them off, but for how long is a question. He's got 24 seconds until even the first member of his team gets on back. All 3 members of Pushka Buttons sieging into the Titan. Gab gets on into the middle of them, trying to get as much as he can. Gets a 3-man cataclysm onto his opposition, but the pluck up, the push back in isn't necessary because he just gets burned on down. Titan is down to half. Medusa's up in 4, but with no ultimate available. Ladies and gentlemen, Pushka Buttons is moving on to the grand finals.
That was fast. That went downhill for Chrome Gods so fast from such a dead even position. 2 fights later, and your Titan has fallen. I mean, there was not a lot Chrome Gods could have done. Pushka Buttons played the game incredibly well. They were patient. They were waiting. They said, we have the damage. We have the items now. We can burst them down. We know our targets. And K-Cut is getting focused out every time by that Chalk ult. And Chrono Lord just couldn't find his place. I mean, full damage Chalk. I respect it. I respect the attempt. The meta is not the only thing that matters, right? Just because everyone's going double frontline does not mean you have to. But
I definitely agree.
There is a reason for it.
You know, you're not wrong there. I definitely agree. I think there's a lot of room to play around with these picks. And it just seemed like it wasn't able to get that ball rolling, you know. And we talked a little bit about it before where I'm like, I'm seeing this chalk, I'm seeing the aspect, I'm seeing the build come along, and I'm getting this idea of we're playing like this, but we need to be playing around it like we're picked this, like we're playing around this. And that stands out to me. And I hope I didn't just say the same thing twice, but you know, you gotta play like you have the picks that you have. If this is a full damage shock, we need to play it like it's a full damage shock, not a full tank shock or a hybrid shock or anything of the sort. We need to be playing like this is our win factor, because it really felt like that was going to be the case. Now, before we get on into grand finals, any final thoughts of on the set, or I guess for Pushka Button's opponent going into grand finals?
I mean, when it comes to them, and don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna pick favorites, but when you're facing off against Pushka Buttons, little tip, don't let Pushka free cash. You have to put the pressure on.
The
right?
pressure is on. Absolutely.
The pressure has to be on.
2-0, 2-0 for Pushka Buttons. Will they keep the streak going? They are going into an opponent who's also been winning their way. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a quick intermission before we get into the grand finals of the Divine Combat League 3v3 Joust tournament to find out who's walking away with 1,000 diamonds in pocket per player, 3,000 for that team, and who's going to be walking away with 500 each. We'll be right back with our 3v3 Joust tournament here at the Divine Combat League in just a few minutes.
Hey there, thanks for watching DCL, the Divine Combat League. In case you're wondering what this is, Divine Combat League is a competitive outlet ran by the official Smite Discord server. These tournaments and events are made for members of the Discord, where players of all skill levels can give it their best, with hopes to win it all and take some diamonds for their well-earned efforts. Our goal is to provide a competitive outlet for the casual player. If you're looking to join in on the fun, you can join us at discord.gg/smitegame or scan the QR code on screen. These games are also broadcasted on the DCL Twitch channel by our in-house production team. We've got both experienced casters that are longtime members of Smite and some newer names that are looking to emerge onto the scene. If you're looking to join the team, fill out a ticket in the server and let us know. Our staff will be more than happy to help. Thank you all for watching and supporting Divine Combat League.